Hey, what's up everyone? If you just started Monster Hunter Wilds and you're confused by the secret controls, you're not alone. Let me give you just a couple quick tips so you can get into the game, and if you stick around, we'll dig into the details so you really understand how to work with your secret. So first, open up your options, and on the first options tab, that's game options, go down to Secret Auto Explore and turn it off. The next thing to do is head over to the second tab, which is control options, and that gets the second page in this tab. Select Secret Manual Controls near the bottom and switch this to Type 2. This lets you control your secret more directly and probably how you expect, especially if you're on controller. With those two options changed, whenever you want to control your secret manually, just press down on your directional pad. So that should be enough to get you going, but if you want to learn more, don't go anywhere. As I record this video, the game has been out for less than a week. This is the current version of it on PlayStation 5. If you're watching this in the future, be sure to check the video description for any updates. Alright, let's talk about auto mode versus manual mode, what your bird is doing in auto mode, and how to switch between them. So first, to switch between auto and manual control modes, press up on the directional pad for auto mode, and press down for manual mode. You can see when you're in manual mode as additional controls will appear on the top part of the HUD. The secret will move on its own when you are in auto mode and you have a destination to move to. If you have a quest target or you've picked a waypoint on your map, that gives it a destination. So you can see here I'm in auto mode, and when I select a waypoint from the map, the secret will move on its own. So in addition to up and down, you can press left on the directional pad to summon the secret and open your supply bag automatically if you're in a quest. Pressing right on the directional pad will summon your secret and switch your current weapon. Both left and right also summon the secret in auto mode. So on the directional pad, the only way to switch your secret into manual mode is to press down. Now there are cases where the game switches between auto and manual mode automatically. Here are a couple of examples of that. So first, I'm currently in auto mode and I have a destination, so the secret's going to start moving towards it. Using the left analog stick to take the reins will temporarily put the secret into manual mode. If I let go of the analog stick, you can see it goes right back to auto mode and starts making its way to the destination. Like we already covered, if you want to be in manual mode, you can press down. But when in auto mode, if you move the secret manually for a long enough duration, it will automatically switch to manual mode. So here I'm going to move a bit longer, and then I'm going to let go of the controls, and you can see I stay in manual mode. Now the converse is also true. If I just stay still long enough in manual mode, eventually the secret switches to auto mode by itself. So now I just went into auto mode, and if I just tap the left stick briefly, you can see the secret just starts moving on its own. So there's another way the secret will change into auto mode on its own. Right now I'm in manual control mode, and I currently don't have a destination set. I'll open the map and I'll just choose a waypoint, and then automatically the secret changes into auto mode and starts moving towards that destination. So the point of all that is just to show you that there are cases where the game changes control modes on its own. This isn't really a bad thing, it's generally doing what you want. For example, when you place a waypoint on the map, it's probably because you want to head in that direction anyway. And at any point you can take over by just grabbing that left analog stick or switching modes. Alright, now let's dig into the details of all the options available for managing your secret controls. So at the beginning I mentioned Auto Explore. When that is turned on and you currently don't have a destination, the secret will occasionally just pick one on its own. I'll just start moving by grabbing that analog stick, and then eventually I'll just let go. And since I'm in auto mode, the secret just keeps going on its own. It's found something it wants to check out, and it's going to take you to it. So let's talk about the secret manual control setting. The default setting Type 1 is kind of like a semi-auto mode. You'll use the left stick to steer the secret in a direction, but if you let go, it will keep walking. You can tap R2 to slow it down. So let me slow it down a little more. And then you can tap R1 to give it a little more speed. Now if you hold down R2, you'll come to a complete stop. Now the thing about this mode is that if you just start moving and you give it some velocity and then let go of the controls completely, eventually the secret will switch out of manual into auto mode on its own, and in my case here I don't have a destination set, so it'll just stop moving. So let's just do that one more time. I'll switch to manual mode, I'll give myself a little speed, and I'm going to let go of the controls, and you can see eventually the secret just switches to auto mode and stops on its own. Now let's switch the manual controls to Type 2, which I kind of consider the real manual mode. Now in Type 2, I think this is what most people will be most comfortable with. You can tilt the left analog stick in a direction. The further you push it, the faster your bird will move. And if you release the analog stick, you'll stop moving. However, this doesn't stop you from using the base manual controls, so you can hold down the right trigger and use that as a full brake. I haven't let go of the analog stick, I'm just holding down R2. Now when I release R2, I'll continue moving. Now you can sprint by either holding down R1 as you're moving, or you can instead press the left stick in and release to toggle sprint. Now once you are sprinting, you can tilt the left stick to turn in a direction, then hold R2 briefly to drift around a corner. When you release R2, you'll launch yourself with a little more speed. Okay, last thing about these manual controls, I want to point out that you can open up your menu, head over to the play guide, look at the basic controls for the secret, and you can review the controls here. What's nice about this is the controls are shown as a tree, allowing you to see the order of the inputs to accomplish certain things. So for example, you can see that drifting requires you to be sprinting first. Alright, there's just a couple more options to demonstrate, and then I'll give you my recommendations on how I have things set up for myself and why. So the option Call Secret Controls allows you to tweak how you can summon your secret. Type 1 is the default where you use the directional pad, but Type 2 and Type 3 additionally allow you to hold the right face button while your weapon is sheathed to summon the secret in either auto or manual mode. So here you can see my weapon is sheathed, I'm going to hold down the circle button and then I'll mount the secret. Now if you choose to activate this alternate summoning method, you can change the length of time required to hold the button before the secret will pick you up. You can find this in the first page of the control settings. It's called Hold Confirmation Duration. You can make this either shorter or longer than the default. Just keep in mind this setting is used for more than just calling the secret. There are other prompts in the game that require you to hold a button, and this will affect that too. Now just below the main option for calling the secret is another for when you call it from a radio menu shortcut. This also lets you choose whether the secret starts out in auto or manual mode. If you'd like, you can customize the radio menu from your main menu, and then you can assign Call Secret to one of those radio menu slots. Now the last option is Secret-only route controls, and in my opinion it's the least clear where it's used. A secret-only route is kind of what it sounds like. It's a pathway you can only take if you're mounted. This elevated rock structure is a good example of that. Now I'm going to stop halfway through on this path, and I'm trying to run off the edge of it, but you can see I'm staying on the path. So this setting's default option states that when you're running at full speed, you can exit the route. So here I'm going to hold the sprint button and I'll jump off the route. Now the second option lets you use the circle button to initiate that. So I'm at the same spot and I'm pressing the left analog stick off the route. I can press circle instead now to jump off the route. Speaking of jumping off of things, before I forget, your secret has wings, so when you do jump from a high place, you can tap the R2 button to glide down slowly. So those are the secret options and what they do. Before I close out the video, let me tell you what options I've chosen and why. The first one, Secret Auto Explore, I have that turned off. I want to choose where I want to go, I don't need the secret to choose for me. Manual controls, I have set to Type 2. When I'm in manual mode, I just want to control the secret directly. I think most controller players at least are going to feel the same way. The Call Secret controls I have set to Type 2. I like to be able to keep my character moving with the left analog stick and then using my right thumb to summon the secret. It's pretty easy to do, I just hold down the sprint button to put away my weapon and then I can hold the summon button. I find this especially helpful since I play on PlayStation, where the left analog stick is below the directional pad, so it's challenging to use both at the same time. I know a lot of Xbox players are used to reaching the right thumb across the directional pad, which still lets them use the left analog stick at the same time as the directional pad. So maybe this won't be as important to players who use an Xbox layout. Now, why summon automatic specifically? Well, left and right on the directional pad summon the secret and perform an additional action, but they summon the secret in auto mode and you can't change that. So I just prefer consistency. And even though I don't use the radial menu to summon the secret, if I did, I would also set that to auto mode. That way, pressing down on the directional pad is the single way I can manually set the secret to manual mode. Additionally, now that I understand how auto mode works, I actually prefer that to be the default, because when I'm in battle and I summon the secret, it's nice to have it in auto mode so it will continue moving for me while I'm checking my supply bag or trying to use an item. So really it saves me an extra button press to switch into auto from manual when I first summon the secret. And if for whatever reason I really did want it to act in manual mode, I just need to move the left analog stick even if it's summoned in auto mode. And finally, that last setting, secret-only route controls, I've left that at the default where you hold sprint to be able to exit a route. Now the reason for this is again for consistency. This control only applies in the middle of a secret-only route. It doesn't apply at the end of a route or in places that are not secret routes. So in this example, I'm at the end of this secret route, which is a cliff, and I'm trying to leave. You can see I'm not being prompted to hit the circle button in order to jump off. Instead, I need to hold the sprint button anyway in order to jump off, and currently that can't be changed. I'd rather the controls be consistent, so that's why I have that setting at the default. If you made it this far in the video, you're awesome and thanks for watching. I hope this video succeeded in giving you a better understanding on what's really happening with those controls and settings. Happy hunting, everyone.